on New Year's Day 2011, SPL action will get the ball rolling and a derby match in Edinburgh will clear the heads of the fans that are packing into Tynecastle. It's Hearts versus Hibs. The players and fans of both clubs can't ease themselves into January the 1st. They need to be up and right at it from kick-off, which is under 15 minutes away. For the record, in Hearts-Hibs derbies since the club first met in the league in 1895, Hearts have won 111 and Hibs 66 of the 2-5-5 played. 78 draws, 44% win ratio for Hearts, Hibs 26%. As for matches at Tynecastle down the years, Hearts have won 61 of the 127 played, just on 50%. Hibs 28 victories, just over 20%. How will they cope with today's 3.5 mile journey from their Easter Road ground? Well, they travelled very well in 1973. Hearts fans old enough to remember shudder at the memory of a scoreline. They read Hearts 0, Hibs 7. Hearts manager Jim Jeffries does. It was his first ever Edinburgh derby as a player and remains Hibs' biggest ever win against their neighbours. So let's fast forward to 2002. And Dutchman Mark de Vries was the Jambo's hero, making his home debut. He became only the second man ever to score 4 goals in an Edinburgh derby. Hearts ran out 5-1 winners. And just rewinding a few months to earlier this season, the first Edinburgh derby of this campaign back in November. So Hearts win 2-0 at Easter Road. A brilliant individual effort from David Templeton was followed up by a second from Stephen Elliott. Leading the line for Hearts today will be Kevin Kyle. He isn't going to play in goal. He signed for the club last summer. He's already very much at home.
How come I'm carrying all your toys? Daddy daycare. The life of a footballer in the SPL, making cups of tea. Don't get shy. Come on, mate. Max Engel will stick to the machine. Oh, it did. It's a happy place to come. I know I think the majority of people who work in any form, they don't love their work. But at the minute, Company Hearts, Hartland Maloney Football Club here at Rickerton is absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? It's everybody's got high spirits and it runs not just from the players, but everybody from like May there that's doing the cooking, getting everything ready. To Claire, who's helping use the media and stuff, everybody's on a high now, and it's good for the club and it's good for everybody involved. All right, Egg, nice to see you in time. I remember sitting there on I think it was only my second day of training. And I was sitting on my own and everybody else was sitting on their tables, and the staff table here was sitting and the gaffer shouts, I think it was Loki or the gaffer shouted, "Is none of the boys introducing yourself?" And I said, like, "Don't worry about it, gaffer." I says, "Get 2 weeks," I said, "I'll be running the place." And sure enough, that's what's happened. This is Andy Driver. The Hearts fans might remember him, I don't know. He's still alive. There's Ryan Stevenson pretending to be busy. They're doing it for a game, that boy. All right, boys, busy, aye? I've got a big, huge smile on my face in football and I absolutely love it, and I've got the love back for it, and you know, I think I can achieve a lot of things, and I just come in here and I be myself. I know a lot of the boys I read in the interviews and papers and things like that, and they're always saying he talks a lot of nonsense and we don't actually understand, and they're probably true, but I wouldn't change that for the world, you know. Even my little boy struggles to find out what I'm saying sometimes.
It opens up for Templeton! Hearts are first to show in the Edinburgh derby!
It was probably one of the best performances we put in all season. We just did not let Hibs get a minute on the ball, and we harassed them, and we scored some good goals, especially the one David Templeton scored, and from then we took massive confidence and we kept our feet on the ground, but we slowly knew that if we could keep that level of intensity and performance up, then there was no reason why we couldn't go on and win most games that were coming up. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't. I knew it was a derby, and I knew little bits about how much they hated each other. But until that game kicked off, and especially when we scored the first goal and a couple of flares going in the park, and looking back and seeing the fans, you know, I was thinking, wow, what a derby. And then, you know, after the game, we got the bus back to the stadium, and we got a police escort all the way from Easter Road right through Princess Street along to Tynecastle, and we had the Hearts song on repeat in the bus. It's as if we'd won like a cup final or something, and you know, if only every game was like that, we'd all enjoy football a lot more.
Derek Ryden shown a red card, and Kevin Kyle is sending him on his way.
Ryden, just pathetic, you know, that's all you can really describe it. To want to go out and try and injure a fellow professional in that way was pretty bad, you know, and I had a few words with him and told me to grow up, you know what I mean. It was, I'm sure he wouldn't have liked it if one of us had done that to him. Apparently what I've heard, it was all doom and gloom for a long time just before the manager came in, so you know, I think Jim's done a wonderful job, and not just for me in my career, but for the Hearts. You know, the size of this club. You know, you don't realise how big it is until you're actually here. Watch out, mate! Oh, I'm only joking. Oh.
Well, happy to report that Kevin Kyle is in match day mode now, serious mode, just as well, because Jim was just watching them warm up there. He's away back in, but what a difference big Kevin Kyle has made to your team this year, hasn't he? Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons we brought him here. If you ask any of the defenders that's played against him, he's a real handful, a real threat. Not just with scoring goals, but he also creates things for others. And he's been, you know, he's settled in really well, and he's a very popular lad about the club. And Derby Day on New Year's Day, there's something special about this one, isn't there? Yes, there is. I think it's way back for the tradition when they used to have it on these days. I think there's a lot of Hibs and Hearts fans go to the games together. I know they can't watch the game together, but what they do is, you know, there's a bit of banter going, they'll have a few jars together, they go to the game and then meet up later, so it all creates, they're all in good spirits, and it's a traditionally a good day, so I think that creates a better atmosphere. And you're looking for your 4th derby win in a row now, Jim. 8 games undefeated in the SPL. What a time to be playing your local rivals. Well, we just said we've got here because we've been playing well, our attitude's been right. If we slacken off at all, then, you know, Hibs will be keen to try and stop that for us. It's the form book goes out the window, as they say, and it's all down to, and I've told the players in there, I've been in this fixture long enough to know it's down to your individual battles. They've all been given jobs to do, and they've got to come out on top, and if we do that, then we've got a better chance of winning. Jim, great to speak to you. I hope the new year starts well for you as well. Thank you.
John Collins and Colin Hendry are on duty for today's ESPN Matchday Live. What's at the heart of Hearts' improvement, Colin? You just seen it there, didn't you? Jim, you think it's Jim? Yeah, I think it is. You know, he's stamped his own authority and his own he's organised the team. He's full of character. His team's shown character. Playing some great football. He's got some great talents in there as well. But I really think it's down to him. He's changed the players that went out in the summer, some so-called big hitters in Concalves and Michael Stewart. Kingston went out, brought in some other players that people hadn't really heard of, like Stevenson that came from United. But you know, it's all credit to him, I think, really, and the character his team is shown through. How do you gauge the potential of David Templeton, 21 years of age? Since he's come into the team, I think he's exciting fans. He's playing with freedom, confidence, gets the ball and loves to run at defenders, and he proved that the last Derby game, scoring a wonderful goal. He's a talent. The question now is, can he keep it going week in, week out? Teams know about him now, so they'll be maybe doubling up on him. So the next 6 months is going to be a real test for him, but he's playing with great confidence. And he's scoring goals, and he's also making goals. Yeah. Midweek, he scored, made one. You know, but you both talk about confidence, Templeton, and then we heard how confident Kevin Kyle was at the moment. As a double act, as a pair, as a club, it just jumps off the screen that they're doing well. More the merrier. You know, if you've got characters that's going to come through. I mean, Templeton, I mean, for me, is a very level-headed player, as well as being a very, well, he's got a great prospect. You know, I mean, I know he's doing it at this minute in time, but you know, clubs in England will be looking at him. But he's level-headed as well, so he's got all the boxes ticked, Johnny. It's a happy club just now. When you're winning, everything's good, everything's confident. Players can't wait for the next game, and it's the exact opposite at Hibs just now. No winning games, they're low in confidence. But the only way to get out of that is sticking together, working hard for each other. And use the derby as a springboard to change things around for Hibs. I'm just keen to know, 16 players out of contract at the end of the season. What impact does that have on Colin Calderwood trying to build a squad, build a club? 16 out of contract. Well, 16, it's a lot, but it can have a positive. You can look at a positive point of view. Colin's going to look at them and say, well, I can get rid of them if I don't like them, where if they're sitting on 2- and 3-year contracts, he might be stuck with them. So from that point of view, it's good from Collins. But from a player's point of view, if they're in a relegation battle come the end of the season, some of those players could be thinking, I might have a move elsewhere. But you would like to think they're playing for their livelihoods. Some of them, at the end of the season, I think a lot of them will be going down. A significant match, very close to kick-off. Great atmosphere at Tynecastle. And in the Hearts dressing room, Jeff Rees is making sure everyone knows exactly what they have to do. Forget plink, plink, fizz or whatever for the Hearts and Hibs fans. This derby will clear the head after enthusiastic New Year's Eve celebrations. The Hearts players are up for it, so the Hibs players. It's SPL action live here on ESPN.